What's the best day you ever had?
Best day I ever had.
Best single day.
Probably $1.5 million in one day. Yep. Yeah.
Hey, you gotta love success. If you don't love on his success, you won't have more for you and your family. What's the worst day you ever had?
Worst day was only this far from the best day, and it was we lost $1 million in one day.
Dude,
and
how do you
believe it
do
or
that?
not, it wasn't me. But that's even worse because it doesn't matter. My firm, we were the specialist in a medical device company, Grant, and we were making markets in this company. And all of a sudden,
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so that means that, well, so for instance, a bunch of companies we trade, you guys know. Micron Technology, a big chip maker and so forth.
MU.
This wasn't MU. He knows. This wasn't MU, but it was a medical device company. So, implantable things for your heart and so forth. So they had an earnings announcement coming. A big firm, I won't say who, came in at the end of the day and started buying insurance on this like crazy. And I wasn't on the floor. I was upstairs managing the traders, and they came in the final 5 minutes, Grant, and I didn't know they were doing this. Then all of a sudden, after the bell,
they came in
buying insurance on this stock, as if, now an insurance bet, it's called a put option, makes money if the stock goes down. So somebody's smart,
betting on, they know something that says this thing's going down.
And there's two bad things about that. One, they did it with 5 minutes to go, so we probably can't get hedged properly. Two, when somebody thinks they have time critical information like that, you don't want to be on the other side of that trade. You want to follow that smart money. Well, so they came out with earnings after the bell. Earnings were great, but then they said, but guess what? Going forward, we're going to not do as well. Our revenue guidance is really weak. And for that reason, the stock fell like 30% in the after hours.
So
we
how's
lost
that,
$1
how's that
million like
not
that.
insider trading?
It might have been. It might have been. Again, the SEC looks into what they determine is material, non-public information. They look into that stuff. To my knowledge, they didn't get these guys on that, but you see an awful lot of insider
How much
trading.
bullshit is there on Wall Street, dude?
There can be an awful lot. There can be an awful lot. I mean, there's a lot of really scrupulous people. A lot. The majority are really scrupulous people. Then there are some that are out on the edge. And the people that have that material, non-public information. In other words, if you knew yesterday that stock was going to announce a miss like this, you could have made millions of dollars on that trade. We see trades like that go up all the time, and that's why Pete and I wrote that book, Follow the Smart Money. You want to be with them, not against them.